All right, guys, you guys asked to see Tara's silver hair transformation, so I am going to show it to you. Remember, I am a licensed professional. I work in a salon. Everything that I use is professional products, so I do not recommend you to try this at home, and I also do not recommend things for people to do at home. So, to give you guys some background on Tara's hair, we removed her previous Pravana color and found out how to use a really awesome thing called Malibu DDL. So now we are left with all of this existing color after lifting her. So we have quite a bit of warm spots, some bands. When she opens up her hair, you guys can see we have all these different colors running through her hair. So we have to go in and make sure that there is no warmth in her hair at all because silver cannot go on warm hair. So what we're going to go in and do first is lighten her roots because her roots are a little bit too long. So I'm going to be using my Blonde Me and 20 volume. I'm using Continuum in this mix because it is going to keep her hair nice and strong because she has very fine hair, so I can't stress enough to use a bond protectant. I'm going to go in and section off her hair into 4 quadrants. I love working in sections because it keeps her work nice and neat. So what I'm going to do is working from the nape area towards the top of her crown, I'm going to take down slivers of hair. So using my clips again to make sure that everything is nice and, sectioned off, I'm going to go in and take sections of hair. So instead of doing like a weave or anything, I'm going to slice because we're going to be doing a charcoal root and then into silver ends. So in this bottom area, because she is pretty dark and warm, I'm going to be taking this from where I want her root line to begin. So we're going to be leaving her root about a half an inch out. So I'm not going to be painting right on her roots with this lightener. What I'm doing is I'm painting it from her demarcation line of where I want to see it, so a half an inch down and then through her ends because these ends are pretty warm and they need to be white blonde. So I'm going to just fold this in there and then move on to my next section. I'm taking a little bit larger of sections. I'm not doing like paper thin, so probably about a quarter of an inch. And then working my way up, and you guys can see these ends are still really warm, so I'm painting it first in a straight line, and then I'm turning my brush so that it is, last time I totally messed up. I was saying horizontal and vertical, totally different. Horizontal is straight, vertical is not straight. So I'm gonna go in vertically and really softly place in this bleach line. So you guys can see where I'm placing this lightener. It's going to be really soft. It's not going to be a harsh horizontal line because when I go back in and put the charcoal root, it needs to be really soft. So I'm just going to lay a foil down and then I'm going to continue doing this all the way up her hair. You guys can see I'm going in, laying that horizontal line, and then I'm just kind of spot putting where I need to put this lightener. I'm not putting it through her ends up here because she doesn't need it through her ends because they're already pretty blonde. So then you guys can see I'm going in with my brush vertically and I'm applying this to right above her demarcation line or her line where her roots are there, and then I'm going to lay down another foil. Now I'm not having to go in and like fold up all of my foils because her hair is, number one, pretty short, and the place that I really need her hair to lift is right at that root area where it's just a little too much root for us. So it's really easy. You guys don't have to fold everything up because that just takes more time, and time is money being a hairstylist. So I'm just laying these foils flat and then painting on that lightener where I need it to go. So once I'm done with this and I've gotten all the way up into the crown, I'm just going to fold those corners over so that I can go into the section right next to it and do the same exact thing. So you guys can see everything's really nice and neat. I'm going to section off another part of her hair. So 2 in the back, 2 in the front, 4 sections, really easy. And I'm just going to begin to do this all over to the rest of her hair and work our way from the back towards the front. You guys are working on hair that is shoulder length or shorter and needing to go in and like change this base like I'm doing, just go in and tear your foils right in half. It's going to save you foils and it's easier to work with. So once we did this, we lightened all of her hair and let it process. And now I'm looking at her ends, and she's still got a few pieces where some of that green from her previous Pravana color has stuck in there. So I'm making a soap cap, and this is equal parts of lightener, developer, and shampoo. And what I'm going to go in is do is just kind of put on those places that are a little bit too green, and you guys can see we got it all out, and now she has an equal canvas. So I'm going to go in with the toner to remove the yellow. I'm using Wella Color Charm. This is T14-050. We used equal parts with 20 volume and applied this all over to remove the yellow. I saw stylists use this on the Olaplex forum and it works so good, like a charm. And then we went in and we did the Continuum step 2 for 10 minutes. So now we have rinsed all of that out and now we're going to go in and do her base. We're using a 413 0-33 0-22. I will leave down in the description box exactly how much I used of each color so that you guys can see. This is going to be her charcoal root. So what I'm going to do is again section her hair into 4 sections because working in these sections makes it a lot easier. And then I'm just going to apply her root color like normal. So right down into that demarcation line of where that blonde kind of starts. You guys are going to see me apply this really fast. I'm just going to stop right where that really light blonde starts because then we're going to go through on our way back and feather it. So I'm just going to apply her roots like normal to this entire section, working from the crown down towards the nape. Then once I get to the nape, I'm going to do reverse and I'm going to work my way back up and I'm going to feather that line so it's really soft. And I'm using foil in between because whenever you guys are doing a smudge root, especially something this dark, I mean guys, this is a level 4 and then her ends are like what, a level 12. You really want to keep separation in there so that way this root is not going to melt onto the rest of the hair, creating patchiness and lines and stuff we don't want. So what I'm doing is I'm applying this and softening out and feathering out this root by taking a small section, painting it down, and then going in vertically with my brush and very softly painting in a line so that it is not a super harsh line. It's going to really diffuse that line and make it to where when we blow dry all of this out, it's going to look more of that, you know, intenser root because it's obviously level 4, but it's still going to be really soft. You don't want a harsh line because harsh lines are not pretty. So I'm going to paint that on and then apply a foil and then move on to my next section working up towards the top of the head. This is pretty similar to the way that we laid down that lightener. It's just kind of now we're going back in and actually putting in the root versus trying to get rid of some of that root color. So this in the end, guys, turns out so beautiful. I'm so happy with how this smudge came out, and this just ensures that we're doing a really good job. So now that I'm done, I'm just going to continue to do this to the rest of her hair, moving from section to section. So now we're going to actually go in and do a silver color. Now I played around with this silver before I even started it, so let me quickly show you how the silver works. So our rep just brought this in. It is the Igora Royale Absolute's SilverWhite Tonal Refiner. It's supposed to be a silver toner. So let's do it. I'm going to do a swatch test on this swatch test that I did a while ago. And using 10 volume, and I'm going to let it sit for a few minutes and see what it looks like. P.S. This was from a color experiment using Olaplex, and this was one that definitely didn't win, so it's a little fried, but it'll still show us the tone. So I'm doing 2 swatches because this one started turning pink. Like, guys, it's like a pinky purple. And this one looks like it's starting to do the same thing. I don't know. So this is really good. Whenever you guys are trying out a new color, go in and do a swatch test because you never know what's going to happen. You guys could see in that after, it was beautiful. So I actually mixed the color Ice by Blonde Me. This is a blonding toner and it's absolutely beautiful. So I mixed ice with silver and I did a 1-to-1 ratio because I've worked with silver before. We don't want it as dark as this color actually comes out. So I mixed these two together to give us this really gorgeous light silver outcome in the end. So anytime you guys are going in and working with clients or new colors, it's always good to kind of know what you're getting into before it happens. Like knowing that this silver can kind of go a little bit pink while you're toning. It looks pink, but it doesn't actually turn the hair pink on the color, like on the hair. It's just the way that it oxidizes. So it's kind of weird of the way that it works, but I'm glad that I learned that before I did it to Tara's hair, because I would have freaked out thinking her hair was turning like, you know, pink and purple. So once I rinsed the roots, I did that in cool water, and I removed a few foils at a time to prevent bleeding. I shampooed out that color, and then I applied that silver toner quickly because these colors process super fast and you want it to process really evenly. Then once it was there, I rinsed it in cool water and I conditioned her hair. And then I blew it dry and styled it like normal. Guys, these silvers are not easy at all. These are going to be what I call my VIP colors. It's going to be very rare for me to do someone's hair silver because it is such a hard color. But you guys can see this outcome and how beautiful this super dark charcoal root came out. We are so stoked with this, and the silver is so amazing on her ends. We're going to do it a few more times to get that toner really to stick in there, and we're just so happy with the outcome. It took a lot of time, a lot of work, a lot of experimenting, but that's what's fun about being a hairstylist. So I hope to see you guys in the next video, and be sure to check out her Malibu DDL of how we removed her Pravana color if you guys are interested, because we did not use bleach and we did not damage her hair.